Good afternoon, everyone. So we hear in the gospel today the cost of discipleship, that to follow Jesus, we must take up our cross. And what Jesus is revealing to his apostles at this point in the journey, where he begins to reveal that he's going to go to the cross, this is a major shock to their system. This is not the Messiah they were looking for. They want the warm, fuzzy guy, not the guy who's going to have to go to the cross. And Jesus is actually fulfilling the prophecy, which the Jews would have been very familiar with. He's fulfilling the prophecy of Isaiah in the first reading today. I gave my back to those who beat me, my cheeks to those who plucked my beard. My face I did not shield from buffets and spitting. This is the Messiah that Jesus is revealing to them. And Peter, I should say Satan, through Peter, is going to tempt Jesus to take another path. And that's what Satan always does. He always wants you to take another path besides the way of the cross, which is really the way of love. Jesus and the cross, he's really teaching us what it means to love. We've lost touch with what that means to really love God and to love my neighbor. And Satan, through Peter, is rebuking Jesus, is trying to convince him not to go the way of the cross. And Jesus, in turn, turns to Peter and rebukes him. He says, "Get behind me, Satan." Sometimes some of our closest friends or family members, people who are really dear to us, can say things, and they may not even realize what they're saying, that can be a temptation to move us away from God and his will for our lives. To be a disciple, to follow Jesus, to love as Jesus loves is costly. The very essence of Christian love is sacrifice. There's always sacrifice involved. St. Mother Teresa once said, "Love hurts." One way you know you're practicing the love of God is it hurts. It's got a sting to it. It's sacrificial. You know, I think the Reesberg family today, this is their second baby, and they've already learned through the first one the sacrifices they have to make, but they're willing to make those sacrifices because of their love for their baby. You probably don't always feel like getting up in the middle of the night when the baby's crying, especially if you're working or you got to get up early in the morning, but you do it out of love, right? You don't always feel like getting up, but it's love. Love is a decision, it's a choice. What enables them to get up in the middle of the night is their love for that baby, for these babies. And I think that's a great example of Christian love. Jesus says, if you want to follow me, you must take up your cross, deny yourself each and every day. To be a disciple is to love as Jesus loves, is be willing to make those sacrifices. It's a willingness and a choice to die to myself each and every day. And you guys know that too, being married. You have to really die to yourselves for the good of your spouse and for the good of your children. And this is the love Jesus teaches us in the gospel today. There's always a cross involved. In whatever vocation we choose in this life, the cross, we cannot get around it. But if we could see the cross for what it is, it's not a curse, it's not a punishment, it's actually a gift. Because it's only through the cross that we're saved, right? That's what saved us, and that's what continues to save us, is the cross of Jesus Christ, and those who are willing to embrace it. We all have crosses in our lives, be it our health, finances, maybe it's the person you're married to. We all have those crosses. We all have to bear with each other's weaknesses. But when we embrace them and we accept them, I love that first reading where it says that he gave himself, those three words, he gave himself, he gave his back to those who beat him. He set his face like flint. He allowed them to pluck his beard and to spit in his face. See, that's love. Love just accepts things as they are, accepts people where they are. And this is the love that Jesus calls us to. He calls us to take up our cross and to follow him daily. So what is that cross for you? Where is Jesus calling you to die? Where is he calling you to lay down your life? What is it in your life he's asking you to let go of it? Maybe it's my own pridefulness. Maybe he's asking me to let go of some anger, some unforgiveness. Maybe he's asking me to reach out to somebody I'd rather not reach out to. Maybe he's asking me to forgive somebody I need to forgive. There's a lot of death in it. I have to really die to my anger and to my pride that does not want to forgive. And that's what Jesus means when he says, take up your cross. In other words, be willing to lay down your life with me. Be willing to die to yourself with me each and every day. And if we do that, we all know where the cross leads. Of course, Satan wants you to believe it all ends right there. But we all know the story, how it ends. There's resurrection, there's Easter. And we all know that the more we embrace those crosses in our lives, and we do it gladly, without grumbling, the more we can embrace those crosses that God allows in our lives, and we do it with Jesus. And we bring them to this altar at Mass. That's why we come to Mass. We come to offer the holy sacrifice of the Mass. And Jesus is offering, his offering of himself is perpetuated. It's made present on our altars, and he's asking each and every one of us to offer yourselves with him on this altar for the salvation of souls. Those places he's asking you to die and to let go of. Those are all offerings we can make. All the offerings, all the sacrifices you guys make every day as parents, as spouses, even if you're single, there's all kinds of sacrifices we have to make each and every day to follow Jesus. It's not easy to be a Christian. It's not easy to be a Catholic in our world today. It's not easy to stand up for our faith when we know it's being attacked. It's not easy to stand up for what we know is right because we know it may cost us our life, it may cost us our job, it may cost us some friendships. But we also know when we embrace that cross with Jesus, he's going to use it to bring about a greater good, and that's our own salvation.